could be on
Everybody passionate about this topic.
That was like.
Yeah, is this the topic? Are we going with this?
Her mom just was telling me that we should make this a topic, but Kay overheard it and she thought we was talking about.
We should make it a topic.
And she said she wasn't there, but I was trying to tell her that her mom was saying we should make this a topic.
Let's make that the next topic.
I ain't no idol, I'm a lighthouse, I set everybody free.
Peace, guys. It's KAYCOLA.
Marcelo.
And I'm Young Pharaoh.
And we are Who Hurt You, where we talk about.
We going into today. Today's topic is what again?
Yo, this is crazy.
It's WWE today.
No, it's not.
WWE wrestling. It's Ike Turner. It's all that.
Ooh, it was real Ike for a
Oh,
minute.
Jesus. Today
Was
we're
right.
talking about can exes be friends? And we just so happen to have some exes on the couch. You want to introduce yourself?
I'm Bambi.
And I'm Seth.
You guys are so, aren't they so cute? Such a cute little couple. Okay, no, they're not together anymore. But you guys are obviously still friends, right? Are you guys friends?
Yeah.
See? He says yeah.
Well, it depends on how you define friend. It's not like you call each other every single day friend. But
Yeah,
still
but
on
we
great
can
terms.
stand in the same room together.
Yeah.
I cannot.
I'm actually hearing a whole different version of
You
what
were
I
at
thought.
his
Yeah, I don't
birthday
know.
party.
Exactly,
I feel like
yeah.
you. Okay, maybe you guys. I want to hear this.
What's the
Like,
story?
This is good.
How do you
Yeah.
feel? Why did y'all break up? And then, how do you feel about the friend? Because I feel
Yeah.
like you feel more friendly.
Clearly, yeah.
So why did y'all
Yeah.
break up?
I would love to hear your answer.
Irreconcilable differences.
Reconcile. What
Yeah.
does that mean?
It means that we just had different perspectives on what we wanted in our future, and honestly, I feel like we were at different points in our lives to where, when we first broke up, I was mad. I was very, very mad. But now seeing it, I'm like, okay, it makes sense. So I think that's the reason why I'm able to stay friends with him, because seeing it now at a different stage in my life, I'm like, okay, yeah, I would have done the same thing, you know?
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
What's your
Yeah.
perspective on the breakup?
I agree. I mean, we got to a point where it just couldn't go any further, and I've always been the type that when you reach that point where you've tried everything, it's not working, just separate before it gets too bad, before it actually escalates to any type of violence or anything like that. Because that's just, I'm always the type of person where I start to feel myself becoming unrecognizable because this person is able to push certain buttons. Because people who are closest to you can push those buttons like ways nobody else knows how to. So
That's right.
when I started to feel myself reaching a certain person that I didn't like, that's when I was like, okay, this is clearly an indication that we've reached our breaking point. So that's when we separated, before it got so bad that years down the road we wouldn't be able to come back and be friends.
Do you guys still have feelings there? What?
No. I mean, you know,
Not at all?
Not in a romantic way.
Are you just saying that because one person's saying it? Or
no. I actually, took time to really sit back and be like, okay, what? I think, that's another reason why we can sit next to each other right now, because I'm just like, I thought about it, I was like, I would not date him right now.
Hey, listen, I'm gonna need y'all to stop trying to flip this around like some kind of clown and shit. Let's be honest, okay? It's absolutely.
You guys are both good looking.
I know she. Okay. Now I know you're voicing it a lot more than I am, but I internalize all this stuff myself. Like I just don't speak about it because I feel like it kind of sounds a little weird to say it to you, almost as if I'm downplaying you. But I just, aside from trying to let it be known that I would never look at you or anything like that, I only say that because I know what we already went through, and I just know that that's a path that we couldn't go down. Not to take away from the fact of you being a catch for somebody else. You know what I mean? Like for me, I know what I'm capable of, and I know what I'm looking for, and I learned a lot of that while being with you. So that's why I'm always just like, I see a lot of people that have relationships that turn into like heated enemies for the rest of their lives because they kept trying to force something that was never even working in the first place.
Right.
I'm guilty of that. I do that so much. Like, I don't know if it's because I'm an earth sign and Tauruses, we're just like, oh, we're just going to keep trying or whatever. But I've done the thing where I'm like, no, we're just going to figure this out. I don't want to be with anyone else. And honestly, you guys' approach to this is so much more healthier because at the end of that, you know when it gets to a certain point and you're like kind of just pushing it and then you become enemies, and that's not cool. And like the fact that you guys can sit here today, and like I personally hung out with you guys, and it's always like chill vibes. It's always really cool. So to me, that's like the healthier route. What are some tips that you guys can give the people watching? Like smooth transitions from like, were you guys friends right off the bat? Did you have to take some time? Like,
so there is no set time when you can actually say you're ready to be friends. Sometimes, like we took like a year without seeing each other at all. Like we went a long time without bumping into each other at all.
And then we would run into each other at the club, and I'd be like,
and I was, I feel like it took her a lot longer to get used to the idea of being friends than I did. But I was also the one that actually, I don't want to say I broke it off, but I was the strong one in the relationship because we were both hurt. Both of us were very, very sad about it, but I was the one that was really staying true to the idea that we couldn't keep doing this. You know what I mean? I'm like, as much as I want to, as much as I know you want to, I'm trying to see further into the future, and I know this is just going to get worse and worse. So because I kind of left the relationship already having that mentality, it took me a little less time to get back into the friend zone. But I think it's disrespectful to the relationship to think y'all can just break up and be friends a week later. You know what I mean? Like I knew that wasn't going to happen. It took us like a year before we bumped into each other, and then even then, we still had somewhat of an attraction because I hadn't seen her in so long. I'm like, damn, she's bad. She still look the same. Like, I can never take that away from her. And then we hung out again, and then I was like, okay, I see it all came back to me again. Suddenly, I started to remember the feelings that we had. And even though I was like, okay, she's cool, but I already know where this is going. So then we took another break in which we didn't see each other for even a longer time. And then finally, after going back and forth, we finally reached a point where we were like, okay, I can now actually hang out with you. And you've been in relationships now. I've seen it on Instagram. It's, you know, because she likes to get in relationships.
I was gonna ask you guys.
No, I don't.
Did you guys stalk each other's Instagrams, or did you go like cold turkey with like, because I think that's...
Check it out, of course.
Yeah, I think everybody does. You were stalking my Instagram?
I was watching your Instagram. I mean, anybody who was a part of your life for a certain period of time.
I wonder who else was watching
But the thing about it is,
Instagram.
I'll be honest, I watched it to see if I'd be okay with it. I was watching it to see how I'd feel. When I started to see her with guys, and I was like, I'm happy for her. Then that's when I realized I was
feel like
stopping
you felt like that from like the beginning, though.
No, because when you went back, she went back to one ex that I hated. I never met him, but I hated what he did. I knew all the details about it, and that bobothered me because I'm like,
I didn't go back to him.
You started hanging out with him again, and to me,
because you know what? I'm friends with like all my exes.
Yeah.
I'm friends with most of my exes.
Yes.
How do your...
Can I ask y'all what's your zodiac signs? I know that has nothing to do with
Virgo. She's a Virgo.
Oh, that's why you like that. What's yours?
Why I like what?
You said Cancer?
Cancer, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're a big son.
I'm a Virgo too, so I know everything I'm seeing right now.
See?
So
I agree,
We all here,
but I see some mannerisms.
Yes.
I see some mannerisms. I'm kind of leaning with bro. I'm not gonna lie. I'm with you, but I'm kind of leaning with bro. I see some mannerisms. I see some Virgo mannerisms.
That's what we always say.
I'ma just say.
He wasn't ready, like, y'all.
Speak on it.
Nah, just like just mannerisms, like just things like correcting, or like every time you say something, just like you know, correcting, or like him saying you going back with your ex or things like that, or like you saying you didn't know that he was watching your IG, or you saying like how he felt. I feel like maybe I may be totally wrong. I mean, y'all met each other. Maybe I'm assuming, but I feel like, do you feel that you want to kind of like get into his mind more, or be one step ahead in his actions? If that makes sense. Like when y'all broke up, did you do certain things to see if he cared more, or like to see if he really still? You know what I'm trying to say?
Like,
like
doing things to get his attention.
Yeah. Like if he said he watched your
story, so you're like, I'm gonna
felt.
post this picture, I'm gonna wear this thing, I'm gonna look like this, and see.
Right.
To be honest, like I kind of like block it all out, like that whole relationship.
No.
All right.
I've told you this before. I've been like, okay. I think that's another reason why I'm okay with like being friends with him, because I really don't look back on whatever I did that
he picked up on.
Right. So,
I personally, as a female, if a guy did something as mature as him, I'd feel a little salty and petty about it, because like I think as women we're so used to guys like wanting us back. and when they don't, like, I'm just speaking personally, and when they don't, it's like, wait, why doesn't he want me back? Like right,
that's kind of like what my question was at.
That's kind of else. Like, what's going on here? So,
no, I definitely understood why everything was happening, but I was extremely hurt by it. I was extremely hurt by it because I felt like he was the first person in my life that really was helping me like grow as a person and mentally, and like helping me reach these new levels that no one else had taken the time to do. So when we broke up, it was super devastating because I didn't have that anymore. Yeah. And I kind of felt like abandoned. You know? Yeah. And I was going through something like super hard at the time, so it was just.
No, it's okay, girl. No, I felt like that too, like dealing with those abandonment issues, and I think just realizing that maybe somebody's not leaving you because you're not, sometimes we may feel like, what's wrong with me, or I'm not good enough, or how can you leave me like this? But sometimes it's actually better for us because things could go like way left, like
that.
So like, yeah, just so I can time it. That was actually probably the hardest thing about breaking up with her, is because I knew how much I saw in her, and I knew how much we had grown and how much we had progressed from the day that I met her, because I always saw who she truly could be. Like, that was the first thing I saw. I see all your potential, but I also see all the distractions that are around your life, such as your friends, such as, just the people that are encouraging all your negative behavior. So I was the only one in her life that was like, you can be this, you should be like this. And so that's why when we broke up, I was like, okay, we broke up because I felt like we reached a breaking point to where she was no longer progressing. It was now getting to a point where she would use some of the things that I used to dislike because I felt like it was hurting her as a way to hurt me. So I'm like, okay, so now you're hurting yourself to hurt me. I no longer have a place in your life. So now, so now
that is a Virgo thing.
You see, I ain't say shit. I was like, whoop. I was ready to fade up. I was ready to get out the episode.
So then I had to remove myself because I'm like, she's no longer progressing anymore. So let me pull
at this
back.
point, I was just focused on like hurting him.
We know how to hit you. What they call it in martial arts? I can't. Pressure points. We hit you in your emotional pressure points. What's that they said they didn't like? Let me go do that on volume 9. Let me go do that on volume 9.
So when she went back to her ex, I'm like, damn, she just went back like 2 years of progress of all the stuff we've been doing together. So that really, and she didn't go back to him, like you said. I think they were just hanging out with each other. But while we were together, they didn't have any contact. I made sure, I'm like, listen, that dude is no good for your growth. You know what I mean? Be around people that are positive. Be around people that are doing stuff, that you want to mimic. And so when she started hanging with him, I was like, damn, all that for nothing? And then, so that's why I would check her IGs and stuff like that, because I just wanted to see that she was okay.
I was just doing it to get under your skin.
And you just said it.
I said it.
Listen, when I first
said it. I was saying it.
Something told me to ask them what's their signs. Something was like, ask them what's their signs, because I'm feeling familiar energy.
So now,
I just wanted to know that you still care.
No, and the thing is, I always care. That's the thing. So now, fast forward 5 years later, I can see her doing all the things that we were working to do back when we were together. She just needed the time to just grow on her own. Suddenly, all the issues that we had in her personal life are gone. I'm seeing her elevating her career, getting new, she's just upgrading. And I'm like,
Virgos,
that's dope.
Sorry, as Virgos, I was telling them this earlier, like, we don't like to be corrected. We do not like to be corrected. So, hello.
To the point where it's like, I already know I'm wrong and I'm going to keep being wrong.
Exactly. I'm such a Virgo.
We're going to bring you back for a whole break.
We do not. Because I've realized that about myself. Like, if you tell me to do something, I'm like, did I ask you?
I ain't gonna hold you up.
Didn't ask me if I can.
I think I got myself to a point where I could, if I'm like wrong, I could admit when I'm wrong. Like, I was dead ass wrong.
Oh, wow.
Listen, you go, but if listen, it go both ways.
But we're rarely wrong.
I'm gonna say it go both ways, because I might be wrong to somebody, but I'm not. But in my heart, I know I'm right. You know what I'm saying? Like, I might be right on principle, like the episode earlier.
Yep.
Right on principle.
Anyways,
So
I have a question. Do you think exes should be friends?
No.
Because I ran into the issue with my last boyfriend, who was a Virgo, and he was like, no, you cannot be friends with your exes. And mind you, when I'm done with someone, I've never gone back to an ex, okay, ever, not ever in my life. When I'm done with someone, I do so much growth after the relationship because I'm usually so distraught. I don't want them ever again. So for me, it's like, why can't I be friends with this person? I literally don't. I'm not lusting them. I'm not looking at them the same way. But do you think it's disrespectful to your new person to be friends with your ex?
As a very gray area, and I'm gonna say yes and no.
Okay.
And it all depends
You thought
on
it was.
what's that?
You thought it was.
And I'm gonna tell you why. It depends on who the ex is
Okay.
and what his intentions are.
Okay.
She had exes that like to purposely let it be known they're in her life, even while we were together. So as soon as they broke up, she was the first person she'd be going to. Like I'd watch her stories the first day we broke up, and who do I see all up in the camera? Her and the ex.
Right.
So I'm like, so now we get back together.
Okay, me and that ex have been broken up for years.
But he was
Okay, we
still
have been broken
But he
up for
was still
years.
available.
He was available, and whenever we fought, she was there.
But he did do a thing where he would like send me inappropriate texts, like just to get under his skin.
Yeah.
So you're allowing an
And
ex to do that to me.
Okay,
You think I'm gonna be
now I get it, but I'm still friends with that person. But I understand. I completely understand
no.
where he
She
was
never let
coming
him
from
go.
now.
He
Yeah,
always had a
We're
place in
always
her
gonna
life.
be
He
friends.
always had a place, and that's cool.
You
now.
and I
Okay,
are always
now.
gonna be friends.
True.
There's nothing
But
like
here's the
going
difference.
on.
So she had a even more recent boyfriend now, and he was threatened by me. I'm like, bro, I'm nothing like that other dude. Like, I'm super respectful to y'all. Like, I don't care. Like, I'm never calling her at inappropriate hours.
Right.
I'm never flirting with her.
Texting her, reminiscing.
Yeah, like at all. Like,
Right.
I'm literally just a friend. But I can understand why you would feel that way because I kind of felt that way with Homeboy. But he was doing
worse.
stuff
Yeah,
to
no.
make
he was
me
doing stuff.
disapprove of that friendship. So
Let
that's
me
why.
let me ask you, right? Because I'm a Virgo too. So I'm sympathetic, but I gotta go real quick with this question. If you are in a relationship with him or anybody else and your ex is purposely egging on your situation.
I already said yes. Okay.
No,
Like,
I'm
it
saying
was-
at the
it was-
time, right? I just want to know mentally why you ain't just chop him.
Because
We don't like to be told what to do.
And you like that.
I will agree with
I don't
that.
like to
We
be
don't
told what
like
to
to
do,
be
but
told what to
if you
And
jump,
on top of that, like I had been friends with this person for
Years.
for years,
Okay.
years. But
Did you like
and
attention?
I know what he does this to everybody. It's not just me. It's to everybody. He likes starting drama, and I'm like just.
So why do you
I look
entertain
past
it?
it.
She's
let
saying
it
in
happen.
hindsight, she realizes her mistake.
Okay.
She grew from it and she learned. But just like me, you have to learn. I was still friends with one of my exes because before I wasn't able to be friends with him. And I thought, oh, I'm in this new great relationship. We're going to be free. We're going to be allowed to be friends with people. And that wasn't it. And I should have cut him off. And I learned it in hindsight that if this is what I want, I should be able to cut everything else off that may tamper with what I really want.
Yeah.
right?
And so in my immaturity, I made the
Makes
mistake
sense.
of keeping someone around. You're not going to tell me who to be friends with. If you love me,
Yeah.
you're just going to,
That was my
blah, blah. It was wrong and it's immature. And a lot of us do it out of immaturity and selfishness, but then you learn and you grow, and that's not what you're supposed to do.
So if I get into a new relationship, and I know Bambi is an important part of my past and my current actual lifestyle, I'm going to make sure that we do everything to make sure that this new girlfriend feels comfortable. I'm going to introduce them. I'm going to make sure that I'm not flirting with Bambi. I'm going to make sure that they
Any new girlfriend's not.
and they just might. But let's say me as a boyfriend, I'm never gonna do. I'm sorry, me as a friend, watching your new relationship flourish, I would never do something that I felt like I would be offended by. So I'm gonna be super respectful. I'm a big smiles. I'm gonna be like, oh man, I'm happy for y'all. Like I'm never gonna call her inappropriate hours. I'm always gonna do stuff that I would want to hear or feel if it was the other way around.
Right.
Yes.
So I make myself not get cut out of her life if I actually see her as a friend.
Right.
But if I see her as somebody I want to potentially get back with, then I'm gonna keep on scheming. Hey, is he doing it like I did it? Oh no.
Oh, wow.
Is he still doing that? You know what I mean? Like when you that type of stuff, it's like, are you really there to be her friend, or are you there to just break that shit up and get back in there?
Right, right,
That's
right.
the difference.
If your new person doesn't want you to be friends with your exes, what are you going to do?
That's tough. I mean, it depends on how close. And that's why I don't always announce who my exes are too, because I don't like to put all that information out
I
there.
tried that,
Yeah.
and that's dishonest. And
It
I had
is,
to realize
yeah.
that because I used to be like, oh, this is my homeboy, and then my baby will find out that was
Yeah,
not just
yeah.
your homeboy.
So do it.
And I fucked, and I'm like,
Yeah.
damn,
So
I'm
do it.
really a liar.
Yeah.
So
Like,
do it come down to a question of valuing friendship versus like an intimate relationship?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I'm not gonna lie, like
Yeah.
yeah.
I have to be in an imaginary situation because I don't got no exes that I'm kicking it with like that. So I'm imaginary.
Yeah.
I'm in imaginary. But I think like if I met what if you just meet a woman and that's just her? Like, ooh, like that's her. And she like, listen, I ain't comfortable with that. Like you couldn't leave like even if you on dub or like yo, you gotta fall back. Or it's just like forget it, this is my friend and she ain't going nowhere.
I've had friends that got into. See, it's tough because obviously at the end of the day, it's gonna come down to you and your woman. I mean, I feel like that's the highest and the strongest relationship that you should have before a friend. But if you're constantly meeting girls and they're coming and going,
Yes,
you know what
that's
I mean?
the problem.
It's tough to
Yeah.
cut off somebody that's actually a legit friend for the past 10
Yes.
years. But if you start to see that it's progressing something, then and it really makes you uncomfortable, then I feel like you should find like a happy medium. Be like, listen, she is a good friend of mine. If it makes you uncomfortable, maybe we can, reduce some of the contact that we have with each other. Like there has to be some kind of way without, because you can't be that insecure to where I've never given you a reason to feel that way.
Right.
You've known her from the jump, and she's a friend of mine, and it goes back 10 years ago. It's not like she's an ex from 6 months ago.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like if you're talking about like, because I had an ex when I was 19 or 20 years old, and then when I met this girl at like 25, she was like, I don't want you being friends with her. And I'm like, we were kids back in the day. Like, what kind of connection do we really have that you're threatened by? Like, we've grown into just friends now. So, it really all depends on the people who are in the relationship and the measures they take to make the boyfriend or girlfriend feel comfortable.
Right.
I think that's going to set the tone. If you have people like him that are intentionally trying to make you feel some kind of like jealousy,
Yeah, he gotta go.
then he got to go. And I told her, I said, I'm
That's
cool.
reasonable.
Yeah, if
I
you're
get
friends
it.
with other-
At this point, I get it.
but you're still friends with him, and any boyfriend that comes in your life now is still gonna have to deal with him.
No.
Ooh.
Yes.
No.
Okay.
No.
But he's still around. He's still around.
She's
So
around.
He's still around, but he's not sending me those kind of like, and he's not.
well, he
No.
finally grew up. That's good for him. Yeah.
We're all growing.
You know what I mean?
I think that's
Yeah.
Exactly.
I think that's reasonable though, because I've cut off friends that were exes that I've known for years for people, and then we break up, and I'm like, fuck, I cut off this friend for your stank ass. You end up cheating on me, and now I don't have my friend or your ass. So it does get a little tough.
Plus, this person, this ex, is really been there like in some
Tough
really
times.
tough times.
Yeah.
So it's hard to just be like, okay,
I can't.
I just didn't know how to do it.
Yeah.
I didn't know how to like handle the situation.
Yeah.
So
And then
therefore, I got defensive, and I was like, no, I'm not cutting off my friends.
Same.
And then
You
there was
know?
certain
Yeah.
things that she would tell him that wouldn't tell me.
Ooh, yeah.
Oh yeah,
Like,
no, that's
certain,
yeah.
like you had to go to him for him to tell you something about telling me. Like, remember we fought around Christmas time, and I didn't know why you were so pissed off. I couldn't figure out why she was mad around Christmas, and I'm over here like trying to make this the most jolly Christmas ever. I'm like, why does she not like Christmas? I'm out here buying the Christmas trees and surprising her,
that kind
and I
of-
never
okay.
knew that there was
Okay.
something deeper that was pissing her off. And finally, she talked to him, and he was like, "You should probably tell him." And blah blah. Then she tells me, and we make up, and I'm like, "Why did you have to go to him to get the approval
Oh,
to
that's
tell
a
me?"
that's a
But that's just what you do.
keyword. Listen, that's out of pocket.
What?
That's all I'm saying.
What?
That's
Is it
out of
out of pocket?
So I felt like he
I've
had
known
a more sacred place.
this friend for like at the time almost 7 years.
Listen,
Like,
the time that you known him does not value the status that you gave him. Like you can't you can't give another man. Basically, it's like unspoken. It's like unspoken privilege. It's like basically, I feel more comfortable with my friend versus my man to where it's stuff that I'm gonna tell my friend stuff that I'm not even gonna tell my man.
Well, we had only been dating. We had only been dating for like 5 months.
Still, that's not a little bit of
That was a lot
time.
of time we spent together.
Yeah,
We been together like every day within those 5 months.
And then it's like, not only do you feel comfortable telling the friend, you would take the attitude and the energy of the issue back to your man and don't even tell him why he's friend. That's
I
crazy.
was defenseless. I had no way to figure out. And
That's
once she
right.
finally told me, we made up
That's
like
right.
a couple minutes after.
I've
I'm like,
learned.
that's it?
I've learned because I think women do that when we feel we may not feel comfortable with you for whatever reason, and we feel more comfortable with this person. And what I've learned in growing and making all of the same mistakes that she's made is that we should always just communicate with our partner and never bring outside sources into anything, because honestly, like, it always ends up fucking us in the end. So that, again, she learned from that though, you know, and unfortunately is a better woman for somebody else.
I think they got a huge level of maturity. Yeah. I would have called that phone. I would have got one of them texts. Yo, stop texting this phone. But we about to fight. Period. Just let me know what you let me know. So I think they got a huge level of individual expression they allow themselves to have, for sure.
So clearly exes can be friends as long as it's respectful to the partner, and as long as you guys have moved on and don't have feelings anymore, and it's not toxic, and
and there's certain levels of friendship. Like I said, like your ex, like I have friends that I hang out with every single day. You know what I mean? Like it's not like we're like friends to that point. And then I have some exes that I don't talk to at all, and we're still on good terms. If I see her out and about at a party, we'll say hi to each other. Bambi I see more frequently because of our lifestyle, and you know, we go to the same gym, so we're around each other more, and it's nice to know that we can be around each other with all good vibes. But it's not really like you don't always have to go back to being the best friend as if she was just your homegirl from the jump. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not gonna call her and tell her about the details of my new relationship and be like, hey man, so how does you know what I mean? Give me some tips on how to really do it. You know what I mean? Like, what did I do wrong? Like certain things like that. You know, still be respectful of the fact that you guys had something special at some point. And yes, you guys matured and you grew separately, but you still
don't want to hear that.
I don't need to hear those types of details. You know what I mean? And I feel like you just gotta be.
So I can't ask you about
how to do certain stuff.
Relationship.
No, you can ask stuff like that. I don't mind that type of stuff. Like if you said something like, hey, you know, when we used to fight, give me your perspective on. I can maybe help explain some stuff, but don't ask me details like in the bedroom and stuff like that. Like you know, teach him how to do what you did. What? You know what I mean? Because you can't teach that stuff.
First off, I would never be asking you that.
You know what I'm trying to say. Certain things,
Give them their social media handles.
Which one? Okay, so I'm Hands of Fury, HANDSOF FUREY.
And I am Dear Bambi, like you're writing me a letter. Dear Bambi.
We'll put their stuff in the description box. Make sure you guys like and comment on this video. Thank you guys so much for coming.
Thank you for having us.
And we love you.
We hope you heal.
Peace.